Hello children, welcome to my video class. So we have taken up the topic of your NCERT textbook, third chapter, that is human reproduction. Under this topic, we will be discussing today about the female reproductive structure. In previous class, we have discussed in detail about the events of reproduction and the male reproductive organ, the accessory structures and glands and ducts. We shall be taking up today female reproductive organ. Female reproductive organ. Like male, in case of human, female also, the primary reproductive organ is a pair of ovary. So, what are those? Number one, a pair of ovary. This is the primary reproductive organ. Why it is called primary reproductive organ? Because it is the organ which involves for the process of gametogenesis, that is formation of ovule, female gamete. Other parts are helping for the process of reproduction. That is why they are the accessory reproductive parts. What are those? So this is a pair of ovary, two in number. Next, fallopian tube. Fallopian tube. Next, uterus. Cervix. Vagina. And external genitalia. So, the female reproductive organ consists of a pair of ovary, which is the primary reproductive organ. Where does it reside? It resides in the abdominal cavity, one in each side, connected with a ligament to the uterine wall and the pelvis. In one side with the uterine wall, another side with the pelvis. So a pair of testes reside within the abdominal cavity. Each testis measure around 2 to 3 centimeter in length. Each testis, if I draw, not testis, we are talking about female reproductive organ, that is ovary. Each ovary measures around 2 to 3 centimeter, as I told you, in length, and each ovary is having an outer region called ovarian cortex, and the inner ovarian medulla. Now, if I draw this structure step by step, the thing will be very, very clear to you. Say, for example, this is the test ovary, or let me draw first. The structure which ascend up like this. From both the side. Now slide right side. Try to draw as I am drawing, very simplified diagram. Very simplified diagram. Now, this eye level after completion of the drawing. This part, be very, very careful how this diagram exactly is. From here also. This part we called uterine fundus. Uterine fundus. Now this will just look like a inverted pear shape. Inverted pear shape structure. Inverted pear shape structure descend down. Like this. Hand from here. Very simple way you can draw. This is the inner wall of uterus. Inner wall of uterus. I'll write later this part what we call, that is leveling part, I will do later. Like this way also from this side, step by step you can draw this diagram many times. It is coming to your CBSE board examination. So once you have a very clear idea about the different parts, very simple one. Once you have a concept, then you can easily draw and remember. Purely diagrammatic waste. Yes. So this part, shall I rub this part so that I can easily level for you? This part, you see here, left and right side, This is what we call oviduct. It is having individual part, otherwise called fallopian tube. Fallopian tube. Fallopian tube. This fallopian tube is having this part, then another one, this part, and this part. This is what we call the infundibulum. This part, infundibulum. Then could you get this oviduct? Total fallopian tube or oviduct, it is having individual part. What are the individual part? Number 1, infundibulum. Number 2, this is called ampulla. And number 3, this is called isthmus. This is called isthmus. So the fallopian tube having 3 parts: infundibulum, the funnel-like structure, infundibulum, then it ascends up, forming another structure, another part called ampulla, and this is the upper elevated part called isthmus. And the terminal end of the infundibulum, which have a finger-like projection forming a funnel-like structure called as fimbri. So this is called fimbri. This part called uterine fundus. This is the uterine cavity. Although in exam we are supposed to level in one side, that is the right hand side, because of lack of space I am leveling on left and right both sides. This is what we call uterine cavity. Uterine cavity. And the whole structure, this structure is called uterus. The structure we call uterus. This uterus having inner lining called endometrium. This is the endometrial wall. Inner wall called endometrium. And middle highly muscular. Middle, just follow my leveling. This highly muscular part. This muscular part is called myometrium, middle layer. This is the middle layer of uterus. Myometrium. And the outer thin layer called perimetrium. Then it enters to another part called, this part called cervix. Which is having a narrow canal called cervical canal. this pass, this cervical canal opens to vagina, which opens outside through female genitalia, which comprises of mons pubis, labia major, labia minor and clitoris. So this is a brief structure about female reproductive system of human being, but I have not drawn the primary reproductive organ. This is the associate part. So shall I rub this part and draw from both the sides the primary one? Primary one, what is the primary reproductive organ? I told you, a pair of ovary. A pair of ovary. A pair of ovary. One ovary is slightly bigger than the other and it is connected. It is connected one side with the uterine wall, other side with the pelvic region of body. So this is the different parts of female reproductive organ, which comprise of a pair of ovary. This is the ovary. Ovary is the primary reproductive organ because it is the organ responsible for production of female gamete ovum. The other associated parts helps for the process of reproduction or for implantation or for development of embryo or for passage of the mature baby are this. The fallopian tube, this structure having three parts. The extremely lower part, what you call funnel-like structure called infundibulum, which ascends up to form a slightly elevated structure called ampulla, and ampulla leads to isthmus. So, the fallopian tube, otherwise called oviduct, having three parts, that is infundibulum, ampulla and isthmus. The anterior end of infundibulum having finger-like tips, which helps for picking the ovum, so released from ovary. When the ovary releases the ovum, it is picked by this fimbri. This is called fimbri. Now, the oviduct from both the sides met to form a wide dilated inverted pear-shaped structure called uterus. It is having a uterine fundus, uterine cavity. Uterus is having three layers of muscular wall. The innermost one is called endometrium, which is very important during menstrual cycle. Phase wise, the endometrial wall is removed from the uterus, facilitating for the new coming zygote for implantation. The middle one, the middle layer of uterus, which is highly muscular, you can see I am studying this part, which is highly muscular. It is called myometrium. It is this myometrium, very important during childbirth, gives severe jerk, severe contraction and helps for the expulsion of the mature fetus. The uterine cavity where the after implantation within the endometrium, the growing embryo surrounded by a placenta and further growth of the embryo into a fetus taking place within the uterine cavity. which is otherwise commonly called as womb. Is it clear to you? Now it is this cervical canal and vagina which helps for the passage of the fully developed fetus, that is child, during childbirth. So let us summarize the whole event. The female reproductive system, or say female reproductive structure, comprises of primary reproductive organ, which is nothing but a pair of ovary. Each ovary measures around 2 to 3 inches in length. One ovary is slightly bigger than the other one. These two ovaries reside in the abdominal cavity. So just try to compare. Where in case of male, the pair of testes reside outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch called scrotum. In case of female, the pair of ovaries reside within the abdominal cavity itself, which is connected with the uterine wall and the pelvis region by means of ligament. These are the ligament. Now, the accessory ducts are the oviduct, otherwise called fallopian tube, the oviduct from both the sides, which commonly join to form a common oviduct which enters into uterus. So the common oviduct here from both the sides have a inverted pear-cell structure giving rise to a uterus having upper elevated part called uterine fundus. The uterine wall is highly muscular, made up of 3 parts: endometrium, middle myometrium, and outer, just to go through, perimetrium. Endometrium plays a very vital role during the implantation of blastocyst and during menstrual phases, timely cyclic way, the inner wall getting discharged so that fresh endometrium can be formed to give the fertilized zygote for the further stage of development and formation of blastocyst, and this blastocyst can implant. So this endometrium facilitates for the implantation. Myometrium, which is highly muscular, during childbirth gives a severe contraction and helps for the expulsion of the fully mature fetus. The cervical canal and vagina helps for passage of the fully grown fetus. So I have discussed about the primary and secondary reproductive parts of human female. The primary reproductive parts directly involved for the process of reproduction, that is for the production of ovum. Ovum is produced by a process called oogenesis. So in gametogenesis, where sperm is produced by the process called spermatogenesis, ovum is produced by the process of oogenesis. So this detailed process of spermatogenesis and oogenesis, where it is taking place and how long it will take, what are the difference between spermatogenesis and oogenesis, everything we shall step by step slowly take up in our next classes. So by that time, you just try to remember whatever the diagram I have drawn, the different parts and where the primary reproductive organs are responsible for production of the female gamete during gametogenesis, and the other part, accessory ducts, what are their functions. So till then, bye.